Iraq news posted by Clare at KTFA April 24, 2025. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. KTFA. Clare. Central Bank. We are committed to building a more inclusive and equitable digital financial system. April 23, 2025 Baghdad. The Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, emphasized on Wednesday the importance of the media's role in supporting financial inclusion and spreading financial literacy, while also underscoring its commitment to building a more inclusive and equitable digital financial system. In her speech at the 9th Scientific Conference, 3rd International, of the College of Media at the University of Iraq, under the theme, Artificial Intelligence in Media, Prospects for Innovation and Challenges of Cultural Dialogue, the bank's assistant head of financial affairs, Adrat Taha Muhammad, said, "This conference reflects the bank's vision to promote financial inclusion, implement government directives toward the use of electronic payment methods, and the role of the media in spreading financial literacy." She added, "Financial inclusion has become a pillar of economic and social development. It doesn't just mean individuals having access to banking services, but also empowering them to make smart financial decisions that contribute to improving their lives and supporting the stability of society as a whole." She emphasized that the media's vital role is not limited to raising awareness, but extends to building a solid financial culture that enhances trust between citizens and financial institutions. She explained that the government's drive to promote the use of electronic payment methods has become an urgent necessity imposed by modern developments, which requires all parties, whether academics, journalists, or institutions, to work together to guide society. She emphasized that media colleges play a pivotal role in preparing media professionals capable of delivering financial messages in innovative and credible ways, bringing economic concepts closer to all segments of society, especially marginalized groups or those previously excluded from the traditional financial system. She emphasized that the Central Bank of Iraq is committed to actively participating in building a more inclusive and equitable digital financial system, and is opening doors to cooperation with universities, researchers, and all relevant parties to achieve this goal. This can be achieved by organizing workshops and seminars within universities to introduce students to the concepts and importance of electronic payments, providing technical and cognitive support for university research focused on digital transformation and digital finance, encouraging financial innovation among students by urging the financial sector to offer financial products and services tailored to the student segment, and offering accessible digital solutions. It also aims to involve students in awareness campaigns as active contributors to spreading a responsible financial culture in society. She concluded by saying, "This integration between the central bank and universities aims not only to increase the use of electronic payment tools, but also to create a financially and technically literate generation capable of leading the national economy toward greater progress and modernity." She emphasized that investing in financial awareness within universities is an investment in Iraq's future and the best path to achieving true and sustainable digital financial inclusion. Clare. The Central Bank of Iraq organizes an introductory workshop for the National Job Day Award. The Central Bank of Iraq organized an introductory workshop on the National Job Day, which honors a number of innovators in various ministries and state institutions. The workshop was attended by the Executive Director of the National Job Day Initiative at the Prime Minister's Office, Mr. Amjad Al-Kafaji, who reviewed some success stories of Iraqi state employees. He emphasized that there are 1,275 committees distributed across all civil, military and security departments of the state, with approximately 5,000 employees working under them. They work to select inspiring success stories to be included in the National Job Day Award, as the award motivates state employees to be creative. He emphasized that the award is divided into 4 sections. The first is for hope makers, the second is for inspirational people, the third is for dedicated people, and the last is titled the Job Day Initiative, which is the category for state institutions for their employees. At the end of the workshop, the Director of Women's Empowerment and head of the Job Day Committee at the Central Bank of Iraq, Ms. Ala Jamal, was honored. It is noteworthy that the National Job Day Award aims to highlight the importance of public service and the role of national competencies in building the state. Central Bank of Iraq. Media Office. April 23, 2025. Clare. Kurdistan PM welcomes U.S. delegation, discusses religious freedom, unity, and political progress. Kurdistan Region Prime Minister Masroor Barzani on Wednesday, April 23, received a high-level U.S. delegation led by Riley Barnes, the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Democracy, Human Rights, and Labor at the U.S. Department of State. The meeting, attended by U.S. Consul General in Erbil Steve Bittner, emphasized America's continued engagement in the Kurdistan region and began with the delegation expressing their appreciation for participating in Kurdistan's National Prayer Breakfast Day. A key focus of the discussions was the Kurdistan region's commitment to peaceful coexistence and religious freedom. PM Barzani and the delegation explored the current state of interfaith harmony in the region, which has long been recognized as a safe haven for religious and ethnic minorities amid regional unrest. The talks also highlighted pressing political developments, particularly the urgency of forming the new Kurdistan Regional Government (KRG) cabinet. Both sides underlined the importance of resolving internal political issues swiftly to maintain stability and continue development. In addition, the conversation touched on the timely resumption of oil exports from the Kurdistan region, a matter with significant implications for both regional economics and Erbil-Baghdad relations. This meeting underscores the continued strategic partnership between the United States and the Kurdistan region, particularly on issues of governance, human rights, and religious pluralism. Clare. Trump to strengthen ties with Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE in visit next month. Washington, D.C., United States. U.S. President Donald Trump will visit Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates, UAE, next month, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told reporters on Tuesday. Trump's trip to the three Gulf countries will take place between May 13 and May 16. Originally, that trip was scheduled to be Trump's first trip abroad, underscoring the importance of those countries, particularly Saudi Arabia, in the administration's policymaking. That is a continuation of Trump's approach from his first term in office. Then, Trump made his first trip abroad to Saudi Arabia. However, with the death of Pope Francis, Trump's first trip overseas in his second term will be to Rome, where he will attend the Pope's funeral on Saturday. In addition, Qatar's Prime Minister, Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani, who is also his country's foreign minister, is visiting Washington, and he met on Tuesday with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Strengthening ties with Middle Eastern allies. The president looks to strengthen the ties between the United States and these countries that he will be visiting next month, Leavitt said on Tuesday, as she discussed Trump's upcoming trip. Although Saudi Arabia is the focus of this diplomacy, it is broad and far-reaching, and it includes the Kurdistan region as well. This diplomacy goes back to the first days of Trump's second term. Saudi Arabia served as the site for the initial talks that the Trump administration held related to its mediation of the war between Russia and Ukraine. That event marked the first of a series of meetings between senior U.S. and Saudi officials. It is now culminating in Trump's visit to Saudi Arabia. Thus, in mid-February, Rubio and National Security Council advisor Michael Waltz traveled to Saudi Arabia, where they met with Russian officials. In that context, they also saw the Saudi Crown Prince and de facto ruler, Mohammed bin Salman. Then, at the end of February, the Saudi Defense Minister, Khalid bin Salman, continued that diplomacy with a visit to Washington. In March, Rubio and Waltz returned to Saudi Arabia to meet with Ukrainian officials. Again, they also met with Mohammed bin Salman. And earlier this month, Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud visited Washington. In hindsight, those meetings have served to help prepare for Trump's visit next month to Saudi Arabia, as well as to the much smaller Gulf states of Qatar and the UAE. Qatari Prime Minister and Foreign Minister. Indeed, Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani, Qatar's Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, met with Rubio in Washington on Tuesday. Qatar hosts the largest U.S. airbase in the Middle East, Al Udeid. The British Royal Air Force is also located there. In their meeting, Rubio and Al Thani discussed the important strategic partnership between their two countries. including close security and economic cooperation and shared efforts to address regional challenges in Gaza, Lebanon, and Syria, the U.S. readout said. They also pledged closer coordination, as they reiterated both countries' support for greater security and stability in the Middle East, and emphasized the importance of increased collaboration on bilateral and regional issues. Clare, Al-Sudani welcomes Macron's upcoming visit and affirms the convergence of visions between Baghdad and Paris on regional issues. Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani welcomed French President Emmanuel Macron's upcoming visit to Iraq on Wednesday, stressing the convergence of views between Iraq and France on developments in the region. Al-Sudani's media office stated in a statement received by Euphrates News that the latter received the French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot and his accompanying delegation, pointing to the strong relations with France that have clearly developed since his visit to Paris about 2 years ago and the signing of the strategic agreement. He also welcomed the upcoming visit of French President Emmanuel Macron to Iraq, and stressed the convergence of views between Iraq and France regarding the region. The Prime Minister expressed Iraq's desire to hold the Iraqi-French Business Forum in the capital, Baghdad. He also stressed the importance of stability in the region, particularly in Syria, and the need to adopt the principles of citizenship, peaceful coexistence, and the participation of all components in governing the country. For his part, Barrot conveyed the greetings of French President Emmanuel Macron to the Prime Minister, and praised his government's efforts to transform Iraq into a successful and attractive investment destination, raising its rankings in the safest categories. He also stressed the need to coordinate positions with Iraq, as it is a pivotal country, and to strengthen relations with it, particularly on the economic front, and to encourage French companies to operate in Iraq. He also noted his government's commitment to military and security cooperation in the fight against terrorism, in light of the bilateral agreement signed regarding military equipment, stressing that his country's government shares Iraq's position on developments in Syria and the region. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: Dinar Recaps.